The torchlight flickers gently, casting dappled shadows that sway and twirl along the smooth limestone walls of my tomb. It feels as though I step into a living painting, the whispers of the past held in each brushstroke, reverberating softly as I tread. I walk slowly, deliberately, allowing the cool stone beneath my fingertips to ground me in this sacred space. The sensation is both invigorating and calming, a familiar embrace that resonates with the rhythm of my heartbeat. The profound silence that envelops me is thick and palpable, wrapping around me like a shroud woven from the fabric of time itself. It cradles me closely, echoing softly in the hollow corridors, as if the very underworld holds its breath in reverence to my presence. Every step I take seems to echo with purpose, reverberating in the stillness like a distant heartbeat. I can feel the energy of the ancients, their spirits lingering in the air, urging me to pause, to breathe deeply, and to appreciate this moment. As I continue along the corridor, my senses attuned to the sensations around me. The sharp, earthy aroma of fresh mineral paints mingles effortlessly with the scent of burnt oil wafting from the flickering torches, creating a rich tapestry of fragrances that fill the space. This fusion of scents stirs the essence of artistry within the very walls, a reminder of the labor and love that have transformed these stones into a visionary sanctuary. It is as if I am inhaling the very spirit of creation, feeling it settle, warm and inviting, within my lungs. I allow myself to pause, standing momentarily amidst the luminous glow, accepting the moment as it washes over me. I close my eyes and let the world fade for an instant, surrendering to the sweet embrace of tranquility that this tomb offers. The memory of the chisels tapping against stone, the brushed strokes of vibrant paints upon the wall, echoes faintly in my mind. This serenity is a solace, a welcomed retreat from the burdens of the outside world. Gently lowering my fingertips to the cool, immaculate surface of the limestone, I feel the subtle texture beneath my touch. The limestone carries the story of the earth, an ancient narrative of resilience and continuity, a tangible connection to the life that thrives above. Every grain aligns with my soul, resonating within me, whispering secrets long forgotten yet never truly lost. I imagine the workers who dedicated their lives to shaping this tomb, their laughter mingling with their toil, pouring their passion into each stroke, creating a space that transcends time. Savoring this reflection, I listen to the muted pulse of my surroundings, the occasional flicker of flame, the crisp rustle of air finding its way through the tight coves. Each sound is a reminder that I am not alone here. I am part of a greater narrative unfolding, a journey shared. The walls, these ancient sentinels, bear witness, standing sturdy and steadfast as I traverse the paths of my existence. As I stepped inside, the flickering glow of the torches wrapped around me like a warm embrace, drawing me away from the chaos of the outside world and into the cool, sacred stillness of my tomb. The flames danced and shifted, their golden light casting shadows that moved with a life of their own across the smooth limestone walls, as if the gods themselves were summoned here, responding to the magic of their illumination. I found solace in the fresh chill of the air that brushed against my skin, a welcome contrast to the warmth I had left behind, an echo of the vibrant life that throbbed on the surface of the earth. The scents enveloping me were intoxicating. The rich, earthy aroma of mineral paints lingered in the air, hints of ochres and reds swirling together like whispered secrets of devotion. Those colors spoke of artisans who had poured their very essence into this place, their skilled hands painstakingly crafting each intricate detail to ensure protection for my final resting place. I paused, drinking in the ambiance, then brought my fingertips to the chilled surface of the wall. The limestone was smooth yet cool, a stark reminder of the passage of time and the deft artistry of the stonesmiths. In this moment of solitude, I felt anchored, as if immersed in the breath of the ages that had shaped this sanctuary. As I moved deeper into the tomb, the profound silence seemed to envelop me like a thick shroud, muffling any remnants of the bustling life outside. Here, in this underworld, the chaotic world I had known faded away, a distant memory replaced by thoughts of eternity swirling through my mind like the gentle currents of the Nile. My footsteps echoed softly, a harmonious whisper in the void, a delicate duet of presence and absence that heightened my awareness of this space. Worry and fear seemed to melt into the background, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace as I traversed the cool corridors, pausing intermittently to lose myself in the tales of the gods that adorned the walls. I marveled at the vibrant frescoes that had been painted upon the stone, a cornucopia of color that breathed life into the very essence of this tomb. The figures appeared almost animated under the flickering torchlight, their painted forms imbued with hope and vigilance. The gods watched over me, their brilliant colors seemingly impervious to the relentless passage of time, and I took comfort in knowing that they were tasked with guiding my spirit when the moment of transition arrived. Each mural I passed told a story, and I lingered at each, tracing the outlines of their figures with my eyes, attempting to map the connections between them and myself, each telling of power, strength, and resilience that had woven together the tapestry of my life. I could almost hear the echoes of ancient rituals and prayers that resonated within these walls, mingling with the flames that flickered in cadence with the rhythm of my heartbeat. Here, in this sanctuary, I felt both omnipotent and infinitesimal, a vital component in a cycle of existence that bridged the gap between life and afterlife. As I continued along this sacred corridor, the world above faded further into memory, replaced by a profound stillness that cradled me. Only the soft sounds of my breath punctuated the silence, a reminder that I was here, alive, if only for a fleeting moment, and that eternity awaited. Within this space, beneath the weight of the mountain that sheltered me, lay the heart of my eternal home, a sanctuary built on love, faith, and artistry, a protected haven that promised a journey unlike any other. In my mind, the worry of what lay ahead, of leaving the life I knew, drifted away like the soft whisper of the winds above, replaced by an embrace of tranquility. The cool stone walls seemed to pulse with the stories etched into them, a heartbeat that resonated with my own spirit. As I ventured further, the flickering torchlight cast shadows that danced across the wall in an ethereal rhythm, merging the artistry of the past with my contemplative present. Each figure I passed bore witness to my existence, a celebration captured in pigment and limestone, linking me to those who had come before me and those who would follow. With every step, I felt a sense of purpose solidifying within me, grounding me as I became one with this tomb, a vessel of stories, memories, and offerings for the gods. I closed my eyes once more, allowing the coolness of the stone to seep into me, letting the sensations wash over me and infuse my spirit with peace, as I prepared to honor the path ahead in the quiet sanctuary of my eternal night. As I lingered in the cool embrace of the tomb, my gaze fell upon a mural at the end of the corridor, where my divine barge floated gracefully across the shimmering waters of the Nile. The sunlight streamed in through the openings, casting a warm glow upon the mural's surface, highlighting the intricate hieroglyphs that adorned the hull, each symbol a protective charm, each stroke of paint a promise of safety on my journey. The gold and lapis lazuli reflected the flickering torchlight, creating a dance of colors that seemed to breathe life into the stillness around me. My heart quickened as a wave of nostalgia washed over me. I could almost hear the laughter and joy of the harvest festival, the sounds echoing through time, pulling me back to a moment of celebration long past. I closed my eyes and saw myself aboard a barge, the sun blazing above as I stood proudly at the helm, surrounded by my people. Their faces illuminated by the golden rays, they cheered and raised their hands in celebration, voices mingling with the gentle lapping of the water against the hull. The sweet aroma of lotus blossoms enveloped me, fragrant offerings piled high, symbols of reverence and gratitude, enveloping the air with their cloying scent. It was as if the flowers, gifted by nature to the gods, were sharing their essence with all present, binding us together in that moment of shared joy and blessedness. My heart swelled with pride as I recalled the scene, the cheers of joy, the rhythmic pounding of drums, the harmony of singing weaving through the air with the rustic sounds of nature. It felt as if I had been carved of the same clay as that river, flowing and vibrant, carrying stories that were etched deep within the fabric of my soul. I stood tall, feeling the sun's warmth on my shoulders, while the vibrant life of the Nile unfolded around me like an exquisite tapestry, each thread telling a story of hope and tradition, a reminder of our connection to both the earth and the divine. But as swiftly as this memory surged, it began to ebb, slipping like water through my fingers. I opened my eyes to the present moment, confronted by the painted mural, which stood now still and muted, awaiting my passage into the beyond. The colors that once sang to me now whispered tales of joy, held captive by the quietude of the tomb. I allowed myself to be drawn once more to its surface, tracing the outline of my barge. My spirit stirred, feeling both the weight of existence and the thrill of legacy wrapped in the ethereal silence of the space around me. This tomb, though a resting place, echoed with the stories of life, a bridge connecting my past, present, and the journey yet to come. As swiftly as the sweet recollections surface, they slip away like water between fingers. Once more, I stand before the magnificent mural of my barge, vividly alive yet eerily still. The colors, once vibrant with life, now seem muted, beckoning me toward an inevitable passage into the beyond. A bittersweet contrast hangs in the air. Here is one vessel adorned with brilliant hues of joy, while the other, a stark reminder of silence, holds its breath in expectation of my crossing. I close my eyes momentarily, allowing the coolness of the tombstone to anchor me in the present, deepening the rich tapestry of my existence within this sacred space. The sensation of stone against my fingertips is grounding, a physical tether to the earth and the weight of the mountain that looms above me like a comforting embrace. It cradles my final resting place and follows the undulating dance of life and death, a delicate ebb and flow. Each sweeping inhale fills my lungs with the earthen scent of the tomb, thick and musky, merging with the anticipation of eternity that hangs heavy in the air. I exhale softly, releasing thoughts of what was and embracing the essence of what will be. A wave of tranquility envelops me as I stand in the heart of this silent sanctuary, deeply aware of the stories that cling to the air around me. I am not alone here. The whispers of the past echo against the cool stone walls, painting vivid tales of triumph and legacy. In this moment of solitude, I accept my fate. I am woven into the fabric of eternity, destined to become part of the cosmic tapestry that binds us all. Here, in this darkness filled with echoes of light, I know I am home in every sense of the word, a paradox of stillness and the vibrant pulse of life that continues to thrive beyond these tombs' walls. As I traversed the dimly lit corridors of my tomb once more, a sense of calm washed over me, enveloping my thoughts in a serene hush. The flickering flames of torches cast rhythmic shadows upon the ancient limestone walls, creating a mesmerizing dance of figures that swirled like whispers of the past. It was within this sacred space that I could feel the pulse of my legacy, a rich tapestry woven from the strands of my existence and the souls of those who walked before me. Each brushstroke told a story, images of offerings laid solemnly at the feet of divine beings, warriors immortalized in battle, and as I ventured deeper into the embrace of the tomb, my senses heightened, each breath mingling with the earthy aroma of aged stone and the faint remnants of resin that lingered in the air. I ran my fingers along the walls, cool to the touch and alive with the energy of the artisans who had poured their heart and soul into crafting these sacred depictions. I could almost hear their quiet voices, solemnly echoing the profound respect they held for this space, for me, and for the journey beyond. I marveled at the intricate artistry that surrounded me, reflecting not only my life, but the essence of an entire civilization. The vibrant colors remained pristine, a testament to the devotion that time could not erode. In this moment, I felt a deep connection to the cycle of life and death, the sun rising and setting, bringing forth life and subsuming it back into the earth. The stories etched in paint served as a reminder that death was merely another passage, another journey to embark upon. Finding solace within the silence, I paused, allowing the moment to envelop me. Every flicker of flame was a heartbeat, a reminder of my existence that intertwined with the past, present, and future. I closed my eyes, envisioning the hands of the artisans, their fingers dancing across the surface of the stone, as if infusing it with their very essence. Time ceased to hold dominion over me. I was both ephemeral and eternal, living in the legacy I had created, and the legacy waiting to unfold on the other side of the veil. This tomb, my final resting place, was a bridge stretching towards eternity, connecting me to the stars above, the ancient sands beneath, and the stories yet to be told. As I delved deeper into the darkened chamber, anticipation thrummed within me, echoing the rhythmic pulse of my heartbeat. My gaze was drawn to the ornate entrance of the burial chamber, a threshold that radiated an undeniable energy, like a solemn promise waiting to unfold. The lock had yet to be tested, but the very air around it felt charged, alive with secrets and sacred whispers. A rich, intoxicating scent of fresh resin wafted through the chamber, its sweetness mingling with the otherworldly qualities that permeated these hallowed grounds. Here, among the shadows and flickering torchlight, every element of my surroundings spoke of the divine, beckoning me to step further into this sacred space. Moving slowly, I felt a magnetic pull towards the cavernous interior where the artifacts lay in waiting. Each piece held a story, an essence captured in time, ready to accompany my soul into the afterlife. Gilded chariots gleamed dully in the flickering light, their elegance assuring me of the respect they would carry into eternity. I imagined the linen-wrapped statues, each one a beloved figure from my life, standing vigil as silent guardians. Pottery inscribed with the prayers of the living completed the tableau, their presence a poignant reminder of the connections I would forge. Each item was a fragment of who I was, lavish yet rooted in sincerity, destined to remain here, bound in the silence of a sacred tomb. As I stood in this chamber of memories, I found solace in the thought of the wonders these artifacts would witness, even as I resided in a realm beyond the physical. Each gilding reflected a moment of joy, a subtle memory embedded in the fabric of my being, intertwining my life and afterlife in a tapestry rich with the hues of experience. Here, surrounded by the whispers of history, I felt both the weight of what I was leaving behind and the promise of what lay ahead, a duality that brought a sense of peace. I was ready to embrace the unknown, knowing that my essence would linger within these sacred walls, as timeless as the very stars that guided our souls. The air around me thickened, heavy with an inscrutable depth, as I approached the waiting sarcophagus, a magnificent sight, a sentinel of my journey into eternity. It towered before me, crafted from the purest alabaster, its surface gleaming softly in the flickering torchlight. I reached out, letting my fingertips glide over the cool stone, both anointed and bound, as if it held not only my physical form, but the entirety of my essence, the essence that would weave through lifetimes. The sensation sparked vivid imagery in my mind. The Nile coursing beneath the sun's warm embrace, undulating waves carrying whispers of generations across its. There, the papyrus grew unyielding, rustling with the breeze, murmuring tales of ancestors long past and the legacy I too would soon embrace. Each inhalation drew forth the potent aroma of balmy spices and rich incense, the scent swirling around me like an invisible shroud, intricately laced with the offerings of my people, an echo of devotion and hope that permeated this sacred space. As I stood before this sanctum, I could sense the strength it bore, a promise that I would not traverse this path alone, but rather accompanied by the guardians I had called upon. The weight of my lineage settled upon my shoulders, reassuring like the weight of the mountain above me. It cradled my tomb, sheltering me from the tumult of life's waves. My reflections deepened, shifting like the shadows cast by the dancing flame. In this tranquility, my tomb transformed into more than mere resting ground. It blossomed into a bridge, an enduring passage connecting realms, past to present, life to the whispers of the afterlife. I drifted further into reverie, the warmth of the cosmos wrapping around my thoughts like a silken cloak. Here, existence intertwined with the infinite, and the pulse of history resonated within the very stones that surrounded me, grounding me even as I soared. Acceptance enveloped my heart as I smoothed over the alabaster, anchoring me firmly in this moment of silence, a sacred embrace before the journey ahead unfolded, and I prepared for the celestial voyage that awaited. As I stood in the dimly lit chamber, a profound silence enveloped me, broken only by the subtle echoes of forgotten tales resonating through the stone walls. The air was thick with the weight of eternity, wrapping around me like a delicate veil, shielding me from the chaos of the world above. I raised my head toward the vaulted ceiling, where a celestial tapestry unfolded before my eyes, a breathtaking depiction of a night sky adorned with brilliant stars and mystical constellations. It felt as though the heavens themselves were guiding me, whispering promises of an eternal voyage across the waters of Duat, a journey embraced. In that sacred space, I closed my eyes, and the visions of my ancestors came rushing forth. Their forms materialized like shadows in the flickering torchlight. Wise kings draped in resplendent robes, skilled artisans with hands poised in creation, while devoted priests chanted sacred hymns, their voices entwined with the currents of time. Their presence wrapped around me, a lineage of strength that coursed through my very being. The weight of this ancestral legacy was both daunting and uplifting, reminding me that my essence was intertwined with those who had come before, their stories now mine to carry into the great beyond. Each heartbeat resonated like the pulse of the universe, reminding me of my purpose. I was not merely a singular existence, but a vessel carrying forth the vibrant narratives of my forebears. As I traced the intricate patterns of the painted sky above, I felt an overwhelming sense of connection, not just to the generations that shaped my lineage, but to the cosmos itself. In this moment, I surrendered to the tranquility surrounding me, finding solace in the knowledge that my destiny was inscribed in the stars. With a deep breath, I allowed the ethereal comfort of this moment to wash over me, envisioning my spirit sailing gloriously upon celestial waters, guided by the wisdom of those who had paved the way. Each constellation above felt like a beacon, illuminating the path ahead with soft, golden light. Here, in the embrace of my sacred sepulchre, I discovered the peace that comes with acknowledging the intertwining of life and death, a cycle as old as time. Silent prayers filled the air as I pondered the stories my descendants would tell of me. This tomb, a testament to my journey, was more than just a resting place. It was a bridge to the afterlife, a sacred promise that I would sail into eternity with the strength of my lineage by my side. It was a moment of divine reflection, a peaceful acceptance of the journey that lay ahead, cradled by the cosmos and buoyed by the love of my ancestors, forever lingering in the depths of time. As I lingered within the embrace of my tomb, I found myself reflecting deeply on the grandeur of my past. The walls, cool to the touch, were adorned with murals that bore witness to my legacy, each stroke of paint a testament to my reign as pharaoh. Gazing at the rich colors, I could almost hear the rhythms of the capital's heartbeat, the bustling marketplaces filled with vibrant chatter, the energetic laughter of children playing games, and the melodic songs of artisans at work, creating treasures that mirrored the glory of the sun above. It felt as if the very air around me sparkled with the essence of life, a stark contrast to the stillness of the tomb I now inhabited. My mind drifted to the life I once led, the Nile winding graciously through the landscape, nurturing the land and its people. I remembered the soft rustle of the papyrus by the riverbank, the way the sun painted everything golden in its light, infusing each moment with vitality. Yet, standing here in this hallowed space, in solitude, I felt the weight of silence enveloping me, a profound reminder of the impermanence of glory and the transient nature of all earthly things. Contemplating my legacy, I questioned what memories I would leave behind. Would my passing be met with tears of mourning, or would the echoes of my achievements resonate with pride, reverberating along the banks of the Nile? Eager whispers of father's pride filled the recesses of my mind as I savored the tranquility that surrounded me. Here, in this moment, I was suspended in time, straddling the line between elation and remembrance. The flickering torchlight painted shadows that danced against the walls, calling forth memories of laughter and joy, mingled with the dawning realization that I was part of a continuum, a cycle in which life ebbed and flowed like the Nile itself. In this stark contrast of silence and memory, I found balance, serenity, and an innate understanding that every breath of life is both a beginning and an end. Maybe, just maybe, as I merged with the cosmos, I would become one with the very stories I had lived and those of the kin who came before me. The peace of the tomb wrapped around me, like a tender embrace from the gods, as I accepted the inevitable and longed for the journey ahead. Time felt suspended as I lingered in the chamber, surrounded by the weight of countless memories. Each moment strung together like gems on a necklace, glimmering softly in the flickering torchlight that cast long shadows upon the stone walls. The air was thick with the scent of ancient dust, and the faint aroma of incense, a lingering reminder of those who had come before me. My fingers brushed against the smooth, cool surface of the stone, each touch sending gentle shivers through my body, as if the very essence of the tomb whispered secrets only I could hear. As I stood, lost in reflection, I could feel the ancient wisdom embedded within the very stones of this sacred space. They held the echoes of my ancestors, their triumphs and trials etched into the fabric of time. I breathed in deeply, the air rich with a sense of history, feeling both the weight and the lightness of my existence. Here, in this quiet sanctuary, I was stripped of the noise of the world above, left only with the thoughts that swirled within me like a tempest. The fleeting nature of life danced vividly in my mind, reminding me that even the mightiest pharaoh must eventually bow to the shadows. Each thought that crossed my mind melted away like morning mist under the sun, replaced with a profound gratitude for all that had been. I visualized the lives of my people entwined with mine through the seasons, each heartbeat a reminder of our shared destinies. The flickering torchlight intensified, casting a warm glow across the chamber, illuminating fleeting shapes that flickered at the periphery of my vision. They felt like the spirits of those who had walked this same path before me, encouraging me, comforting me, as I navigated my own passage into eternity. Though the path I tread felt solitary, I understood that I was never truly alone. The essence of each soul intertwined with the threads of my journey, an eternal bond that transcended the physical realm. In this stillness, my fears transformed into a quiet acceptance, allowing me to embrace the inevitable with open arms. I closed my eyes and focused on the rhythm of my heart, steady and strong, a reminder of my place within this vast cosmos. As I surrendered to the silence surrounding me, I felt empowered. The tomb was not merely a resting place, but a bridge guiding me towards the stars. With each beat, I acknowledged the dawn of a new adventure awaiting me beyond the veil, and in that moment, I was filled with peace, ready to embrace the unfolding mystery of the afterlife. As I stood before the mural of the divine barge, a surreal peace settled over me, reminiscent of the serene moments of celebration that once filled my days. Each stroke of paint seemed to dance before my eyes, vivid memories swirling in my mind. I closed my eyes, attempting to let go of the cold surrender of this tomb and instead immerse myself in the warmth of the past. The joyous laughter of people, cheers that rang like bells, echoed in my memory, the vibrant festivals, the riotous colors that adorned the Nile during harvest time, and the fragrant offerings of lotus flowers swaying gently in the breeze. I imagined the sunlight cascading down, wrapping itself around bodies, warming the skin in a golden embrace. Here was life. Each voice that joined the chorus of celebration mingling with the rustle of papyrus, the sweet notes of flutes that floated in the air, and the rhythmic drumming that invited all a chance to sway together in unity. Yet, in this sacred space of reflective solitude, the stark contrast of silence washed over me. Each breath I took served as both an anchor and a reminder of the life that once flowed vibrantly, now subdued under the weight of eternity. I felt grateful for these memories, so powerful and poignant, that fused with the very artistry around me. The painted gods and divine scenes, seemed to hum with the lifeblood of my history. They awaited my journey and transformation into the afterlife. And in that moment, I recognized the beautiful stillness that surrounded me as an essential part of my legacy. This sacred space was not a tomb, but a tapestry of memories, a convergence of life and death that shaped my understanding of existence. As I stood there, both vulnerable in my solitude, yet fortified by the strength of my ancestors, I gathered these fleeting thoughts like grains of sand, fragile yet enduring. The striking mural, the pulse of the past, transported me back to simpler joys. I felt the weight of my role as both a vessel and a guide, embodying their shared energies which mingled, blending into a narrative that was mine to carry forward across time. Each breath became a prayer, a foundation as I longed for the harmony that connected not just voices but souls, a collective beat that resonated through the cosmos as I prepared to embrace what lay ahead, resting firmly in both the joy of remembrance and the silence of anticipation. As I shifted my gaze from the mural of the divine barge to the grand entrance of eternity, a stirring glimpse of the future blossomed within the depths of my heart. The tomb, though suffused with a chilling silence, pulsed with a hidden vibrancy, a whisper of life intertwined with the blessings bestowed upon my sacred dwelling. Beyond this hallowed place lay the unknown, an expansive journey where rebirth awaited, where the essence of who I was would be sculpted anew. Would my spirit soar on the ethereal wings of the divine, gracefully embraced by a celestial afterlife, or would it echo endlessly within the vast expanse of time? I welcomed the uncertainty, acknowledging both the dread of the unknown and the exhilaration it brought. There was an exquisite beauty in bidding farewell to the worldly treasures I had amassed over my lifetime, a life of opulence and power, now drifting like vapor into the recesses of memory. I understood, with a poignant clarity, that this journey was just beginning, a transition laden with the weight of expectation and the lightness of freedom. I pledged to embrace the tender whispers of the unseen, the delicate calls of the spirits that had woven themselves into the tapestry of my existence. I envisioned the barge, my majestic vessel, guiding me across the waters of the afterlife, carrying my spirit like a haunting melody long forgotten. Each stroke of the oar, each ripple across the surface of the water, would connect me with the essence of my history, bridging the gap between the living and the realms beyond. In this stillness, where tranquility enveloped me like a shroud, I reflected on the beauty of life's transience. Each breath and heartbeat resonated with the knowledge that I was part of a grand design, a cycle where each ending birthed a new beginning. I felt a lightness in my spirit, knowing that while I would leave behind the treasures of my existence, I would carry forth an enduring legacy, an essence that transcended mortality, embedded within the hearts of my people, like the sun rising over the Nile each dawn, heralding hope and continuity. Thus, I stood on the precipice of eternity, ready to embark on my journey, illuminated by the blessings of my ancestors, and buoyed by the promise of rebirth awaiting me in the great beyond. Returning to the burial chamber, I felt the gentle weight of the mountain above me, a steadfast guardian in the quiet of night. The air was thick with reverence, each breath carrying the quiet power of the ages. As I lowered myself before the sarcophagus, the cool stone felt familiar beneath my fingertips, a touch that echoed the craftsmanship of artisans long gone. I absorbed the tranquility woven patiently by the hands of time. Every detail of this sacred space whispered stories of my lineage that reached back through the sands of history. Peaceful thoughts unfolded in my mind like a lotus flower blooming gently in a still pond, blossoming in the conceit of eternity, a representation of the life I lived and the legacy I would leave. It was a moment entirely for me, divinely cradled within the embrace of history. The flickering torchlight danced across the smooth alabaster surface of the sarcophagus, casting shadows that seemed alive, wrapping me in a cocoon of warmth. Each flicker illuminated intricate carvings that had captured my essence for all times to come. In this moment, I surrendered fully to the stillness around me, feeling it seep into my very being. This house of eternity, meticulously built to hold the stories of my reign, would stand as a testament to the sacredness of the human experience, witnessing the passage of time, life, and death. The walls echoed with a deep silence, reverberating the importance of this journey. In the flickering torchlight, I welcomed the shadows as friends, knowing they held the secrets of the past and the hopes for the future. For the whispers of my heart had finally found solace here, my tomb, my final journey, and soon an embrace of the stars in the promise of this eternal resting place filled me with serenity, a profound acknowledgement of all that was, all that is, and all that would be.